Hey, it's Teresa with Stringfield Ridge Farm here. Vicky's Country Home has invited everyone to a collaboration with any channel that wants to join. It's a Monday cooking collaboration, and she asked that you cook one of your family favorite meals on a Monday and tell a little story to go with it. And so I will be working on Monday, so this is on Sunday night, but I'm going to call it my Monday cooking collaboration. And my cooking collaboration for this Monday is going to be my famous chicken enchiladas. Several of my daughters have always loved this recipe, and I will tell you, we're going to get started cooking, and then I'll tell you a little story. Okay, the first story I'm going to tell you about my chicken enchiladas is this pan I'm going to use. I'm going to use this big old frying pan. It is a cast iron skillet, deep cast iron skillet, that my Aunt Mabel used when I was growing up. And when she passed on, they had an estate auction, and I bought her deep dish cast iron skillet. And I learned later that they call them a chicken fryer. I use it for everything. So I'm going to use it for this recipe. I've got a jar of my canned chicken. You can use, I used to use canned chicken from the store. I used to use the cans of white chicken breast meat from the store. You can also, of course, boil down your own chicken. I've also used chicken breast, boneless, skinless chicken breast, and boiled a couple of those down and shredded them up. This is some that I have canned, and I'm going to drain that a little bit and pour that in my skillet. Okay. The next ingredient we're going to put in is a block of Philadelphia cream cheese. You're just going to dump that right in there on top of your chicken. I'm going to get that broke up a little bit and get that to starting to melt down some. Okay, so while that is getting melted down in here together, we open up a can of enchilada sauce. And we're going to put that in there, a whole can of enchilada sauce. And we're going to get that all heated up and mixed together. While this is heating up, I'll tell you a little bit of the story. I had a coworker one time that gave me this recipe. And I went home, and a couple days later I made this recipe. And the kids loved it. Lee loved it. And one of my daughters, years later, one of my daughters had joined the Air Force. She's still in the Air Force. Her and her husband are in the Air Force, and they are soon to be sent over to the UK area and live over there for a while. She's been in the Air Force now for like 7 years. Now she is having started raising a family now, so she has gone to Air Force Reserve. But she was in the Air Force for 6 years and then went into Air Force Reserve. And she loved this recipe. And when she was in basic training and early in her Air Force career, she would come home every once in a while, and every time she came home, she wanted Mama to make chicken enchiladas. And so for a long time, every time she come home, I would be sure and make her some chicken enchiladas. And she still asks for it sometimes. I haven't made it in a while, but when I started making this recipe for this collaboration, I thought of it and thought I would make it and think of her. And right now they are stationed around the St. Louis area, and that's not a long way off, but we still don't get to see her a whole lot right now. And she is expecting any day. And then in May, they're going to be moving over, sadly for me, in May they're going to be moving over to Middleton Hall. I may be saying that wrong. I'd have to look again. But it's Middleton Hall or something like that over in the England. And so as I'm making my chicken enchiladas tonight, I'm thinking of my precious daughter who is in the Air Force and has a baby and another on the way. And that's my story to go along with my chicken enchiladas. One more thing about my chicken enchiladas I'll go ahead and tell before I make. I've always bought mostly store-bought ingredients. This time I had my own chicken, my canned chicken. And this time I made my own tortilla shells for the first time ever. I have learned how to make bread recently, so I've been making homemade bread. And when I thought of this recipe, I thought, well, I've been making the homemade bread. Let's see if I can make homemade tortilla shells. And I looked up a recipe from Heidi at Rain Country. She's my go-to girl, and that's my go-to channel. And so I looked up a recipe she had on there and made my homemade tortilla shells. And it's an easy recipe, very easy. And as I always say, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It looks like it is all melted together there. So we're gonna get prepared to fix these up and put them in a pan for the oven. Now we're gonna spoon some of this in our tortilla shells. I think I've always used about 2 spoonfuls. Let's see how that works with the homemade tortilla shells. Maybe use a little more or a little less, I'm not sure. A little less. Okay, so then you just roll that up in there. Slide him to the side. This mixture is just your chicken, your cream cheese, and your enchilada sauce. Okay, I have my shells wrapped up. This pan wasn't big enough, and these shells are bigger than what I'm used to, so this only made 4, and I can probably get 2 or 3 more out of that. These are bigger than what the store-bought ones I was getting, so and that's fine. These are going to be better than the store-bought tortilla shells. So I only got 4 in here, and I'll get out another dish and probably get 2 or 3 more out of that. You're going to sprinkle cheese on top of this. Any cheese you've got. I'm using mozzarella. I usually just use whatever I have of anything I get out and just try to use what I have rather than go buy something different or new, what I have left over. And I have mozzarella and a little mild cheddar. We will bake that at 350 for 20 minutes. You can also put a little salsa on top of that. I don't have any salsa, so I'm not adding that, but that's fine with me. It's got the enchilada sauce in it. You can add a little more enchilada sauce on top, or salsa. I like chunky salsa, but I happen to be I'm out right now. I just pulled the chicken enchiladas out of the oven, and they are looking and smelling delicious. Anxious to try these, and pretty sure my daughter will be anxious to try them too. But I'm going to show you what they look like. This is just the first pan. I made 2 pans because these, like I said, made bigger ones than I expected. I'm going to plate one of those up right now. Just what I thought, folks. That's the best chicken enchilada I've ever made. Y'all go try this. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Vicky's Country Home, for the collaboration idea. And y'all give us a thumbs up and comment, and make another meal and story next Monday. We're going to do this 3 Mondays in a row. So y'all keep watching, and we'll have another meal and story. And go over and check out Vicky's Country Home and any others that are doing this collaboration. And thank y'all for watching.